Right, thank you. Tom and I are used to coming last behind these political luminaries who we so respect coming from Parliament. I don't want to talk about the past. I don't want to talk about the referendum. We'd all agree violently on the problems that have been caused and the things that were said. Within 200 yards of this place, I was described as a traitor to my country and a liar by people when I talk to them about things like the Irish border problem, things that we all accept are absolutely common sense and pragmatic. I was maligned in an even worse way than I am sometimes in Liverpool City Council. But I want to talk about just two things: tactics and what happens to make sure that April the 1st doesn't end up as the worst April Fool's Day that this country's ever seen. So, tactics. I want to remind everyone here that we live in a parliamentary democracy. The reason we are leaving the EU, if we do, is not because an advisory referendum was held. Not just me thinks it was advisory, the Supreme Court thinks it's advisory. We're leaving it because Parliament voted to trigger Article 50. Now that, to my mind, tells us where our tactics must be. It must be talking to every MP and every Lord to do what we've been told you should do. Vote with their conscience. And if their conscience isn't employment and the health service and the environment and transport and even cheaper holidays, which we're going to suffer with, then what the hell is their conscience telling them to do? So I have to be political here. What can we do in the Liverpool City Region? No point in having a go at Lib Dems because we've got two peers from this area and they're committed. Should be committed in some people's view, but they're certainly committed to this cause. There's a Tory MP. I haven't a clue who he is. Actually, I've been interested in meeting him. I haven't a clue what his idea was, but if any of you come from Southport, have a go at him. But there's a group of Labour MPs who I never see at events like this. They've all apologised tonight. I've shared platforms with every Labour MP here and others since before and since the referendum, but I've never seen the Member of Parliament for West Derby at one of these events. I've never seen the Member of Parliament for Bootle at one of these events, and relatively more recently I've never seen the Member of Parliament for Walton at these events, although I did see his predecessor. And frankly, we, and that's probably more you than me, because they'll just think I'm a bloody Liberal Democrat, but you need to be at their advice centres. You need to be presenting them with the information that you've heard from our excellent Labour representatives here tonight. So that's what we need to do in the short term. Second thing, though, we need to do is to plan for the future. So my colleagues and I have tabled a motion to the City Council next week about the future of the Liverpool City Region. 1.7 million people, a combined authority, a regional mayor. And I must tell you, I don't really know what it's doing, but I know what it could be doing. So we've put forward to the council, and I have a feeling that the elected mayor of Liverpool will support it, because he suggested an amendment, which I incorporated into it. We suggest a whole series of things whereby we can use the power of those 1.7 million people to do things, to run our own trade missions, to run our own embassies, not, of course, legal embassies, but points of contact throughout the rest of Europe and throughout the rest of the world, to take power back into Liverpool. Because, do you know what I fear more than power going to Brussels? I fear the total power that we've been hearing about today in Westminster. Because that's where the problem lies. It's Westminster. It's Whitehall and it's Westminster who administer every final detail of what you and I do here. And I can't tell you, after 36 years as a councillor, how much I still chafe at the bit of introducing laws to this city designed to meet the problems of London and the South East. So I say to everyone in here, whatever happens with the timetable. Whatever happens, if we do leave or don't leave or partly leave, there is a job for every single one of you in fighting for the future, in working together, not giving up in triumph or despair, but saying we, people like us, must stay together to work with the rest of Europe, to work with our universities, to work with our industries, to try and deal with some of those problems that you've heard so eloquently described today. This might be the last time I address you before we leave Europe, but I tell you, I want to see you back here on the 2nd of April, so we plan for the future, no matter what happens.